Hello, and welcome back to the world of Final Fantasy XIV. My name is Jaysos, and today we will be looking at the final step of the relic weapon in patch 5.55. And more importantly, the most efficient way to farm those 15 raw emotions. So without any further delay, let's begin. This step, like many others, it starts in Gangas with Latin, and it can be found on this spot, map coordinates on screen right now. You'll give it a quest called Irresistible, which the objective is to gather 15 raw emotions for the final stage of your weapon. This can be achieved in several ways. Heaven on High, floors 51 to 100, it will drop every 10 floors. Delubrum reginae will drop 2 of these raw emotions at the end of the runs. The last 48-man raid in Zadnor, the Dalriada, will net you 3 raw emotions per run. And lastly, Lv70 Dungeons will give a single raw emotion at the end of each run. First off, we have Heaven on High, which will net you a single raw emotion at the end of every 10 floors. So we're talking about 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. Though this does sound effective, you have to remember that a major problem with this is that the party that you're with, or if you're running solo, if not done correctly, it will take you somewhere in the neighborhood to 15 to 20 minutes per 10 floors, making this the most slow method in my opinion. Next up, we have the 48-man Delubrum reginae. This raid will take you between 30 to 40 minutes and will net you 2 raw emotions at the end of the run, making this a pretty good method if combined with multiple relic weapon farms, i.e. time-worn artifacts as well, meaning that at the end of this run, you not only get your raw emotions, but also a time-worn artifact. The Dalriada is the latest addition to the Resistance storyline, and the last 48-man for the new explorable area of Zadnor. This instance will run you about 25 to 35 minutes to complete, and at the end you will receive 3 raw emotions for your troubles. Now this is really effective if you are also farming metal and some of those field notes for the bike mount. And last but not least, we have the Lv70 Dungeons. There's a whole list of them, and each and every one will net you a single raw emotion. But their run times goes from 11 minutes to 17 minutes per run, and depending on what party you get or types of players, this can be achieved in just a few hours. Okay, now that we laid out each farming method, it is time to see which one of these 4 are the most efficient one. Now bear in mind this is a personal opinion based on my farming samples, and conclusions sometimes may vary depending if you have friends that will do this with you or the type of class you play. So the most efficient methods by far would be the Dalriada with 3 raw per run and the Lv70 Dungeons methods, with the dungeon method being slightly superior in the sense of time spent per each raw emotion. So let me explain this further. Dalriada will take you between 25 and 35 minutes for 3 raw emotions at the end, with 30 plus minutes being the most common completion time, leaving you with 1 raw roughly between 11 and 12 minutes per. With this method, if you pair it with the metal gains, which is 3 million, plus the chance to collect the field notes that will count towards your bike acquisition, makes this a well-rounded and worth the time. And you should be done in about 6 to 7 hours. The problem with this method is that it requires instance hopping for it to be fast, or you will be stuck with 1 Dalriada run every 45 minutes per instance. While if you hop to a fresh one after finishing the raid, you might get a chance to get a fresh pop within 10 to 15 minutes of entering a fresh instance. So if you are also farming metal and field notes, this is your stop on this bus. The dungeon method is superior if you are only interested in collecting nothing but the raw emotions. From the list of dungeons, the ones that are faster in my opinion would be Hell's Lid, clocking at 10 minutes per run, and the burn that can be completed between 11 and 12 minutes. but this is excluding pre-made parties, which further accelerate the clear time. Now, you can claim that this is pretty much the same time that it will take you for each raw emotion if you really go down to brass tacks using the Dalriada method. But the differences here are pretty obvious if you count for queue times and accessibility. You can complete by this step by using these 2 dungeons and then they're 4 to 5 hours. Now the Dalriada is considered a good farm method, but not based on time, but pretty much on the plethora of rewards that you get at the end of the run, which is the raw emotions plus the field notes plus the medal. But if you are looking for raw emotions only, then the dungeon method wins this contest by a good margin. And this is it for the video, guys. I hope it helps. Good hunting, and until the next video, peace out.